Here's how January the 2nd went. We had a slow and snowy start, which involved some yoga because, to quote Ron Burgundy, I'm starting to feel like an old wooden ship. But depressing and degenerative ageing aside, today it was sunny. It makes all the difference. We made the most of this glorious weather because, to be honest, the pair of us have really missed blue skies in the recent months. When we travel, we love just ambling around cities and exploring, so that's exactly what we did this morning, heading to Haga. This is an awesome little district in Gothenburg, full of boutique businesses and cool little coffee shops. Also, artisan bakery selling this stuff, fika, could be fika. This massive, round, swirly-whirly cakey thing is really famous here. Do you know what else Haga has loads of? Interior design shops, loads. This was honestly one of the best candles I've ever smelt in my life, but I thought buying an artist candle for myself was a little bit self-indulgent. Really enjoyed matching this door. I'm very much exercising a capsule wardrobe this trip because Dan and I flew with carry-on only to keep costs down. You know what? It's working. Anyway, who cares what I'm wearing? Look at the architecture of Gothenburg. It's stunning. I'm going to say it now. If you haven't ever been to Gothenburg or Sweden, Gothenburg is an absolute must. It's a really small, compact town, so you can walk around it easily, but it's so beautiful. And there's actually so much to do. Like this place. This is the Fish Church. As once it was a church, now it's a fish restaurant / market / food hall, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Honestly, if you're turned on by interior design, Sweden is the place for you. We didn't book for the Fish Church, but we're going to try and come back tomorrow. We carried on wandering through Haga and found a little thrift shop. I did some thrifting and some looking around. Lots of Swedish goodies. Unfortunately, we couldn't take any of it back because we had hand luggage only. Someone else also loved these candlestick holders. Dan thought they reminded him of a 70s bathroom, but I was so into them. Stick some matte black church pillar candles on those bad boys. They'll look gorgeous. We carried on walking and eventually reached this food hall, which we'd tried on day one, but it had been shut. This is Saluhallen Market. This is definitely one of the highlights of our trip. Not only is it absolutely gorgeous inside, every different food store that you can imagine, but incredible quality, plus bars and eateries. We did a full lap to assess what was on offer, and then we both settled on this place. This is Matt and Vimbar. No, not the chefs. This is what the place is called. Well, Salut, Matt and Vimbar, meaning food and wine bar. We didn't actually realise until afterwards, but this place is one of the most celebrated places in Gothenburg for Swedish meatballs. Dan ordered the meatballs, I ordered fish stew. I had horrendous food envy. Back out into the blustery streets we did head. I did have to stop and stretch my back out in the street like a weirdo. Still feeling like that aforementioned shit. Honestly, yoga is the only thing that helps my back like it does. We came across this art gallery and oh my life, look at this artist. He's called Randy Cooper. He makes shadow sculptures. How incredible is this? Such a clever and original concept. Sorry, I sound a bit like an art critic, but it did genuinely blow my mind. Anyway, with a blown mind and a sore back, we headed back to the spa. We were way too early, so I decided it was the perfect opportunity to beat Dan at a game of pool. Only issue being, I'm absolutely terrible at pool. I'm not exaggerating when I say I think my first 9 shots resulted in misses every single time. How can someone be so bad at a sport? 9 of my shots in a row were a spectacular miss. Maybe the only shots I'm destined for life are ones taken on a camera. But then our attentions turned to the shuffleboard and I was much better at this. This incredibly addictive game features a very long table which is covered in what looked like sawdust, but was actually very fine wax pellets. This game was so frustrating but so brilliant. It's much harder to judge the momentum than it looks. So up to the spa we went, and this time we got to watch the sunset over the city of Gothenburg. It was beyond stunning. Panoramic views, glittering city lights, but the whole time I was way too distracted by an existential question which I would love you lot to reassure me about. Is it just me? Am I a total prude, or do you share this opinion too? Long story short, the changing rooms in Swedish spas are, as expected, very liberal. And I wish I felt courageous enough to just shed all my clobber. Yes, I imagine it is very freeing and liberating. I chose to stand right in the corner of the room, facing the wall like I've just seen the Blair Witch, dressing gown draped over my shoulders and back, frantically getting changed as quick as I could in my toweling tent. Am I just very English? Next, I practiced my Swedish in an Uber. Hey. I really am making strides with this new language, and to be honest, I'm starting to feel bilingual. And then it was back to our hotel for drinks. Now, not to make out that I'm some kind of sommelier, but the wine of this trip has been a Riesling. If you get the opportunity to try an Austrian Riesling, absolutely do it because it was delicious. Here I am deep in thought about that food envy I had earlier. But thankfully, we were headed to one of the most top-rated restaurants in Gothenburg for meatballs. Now look, okay, this place isn't going to win any accolades for their interior design anytime soon. I walked in and thought, am I at a brownies meeting at my local village hall? However, we were prepared to look past that. Even the snowflake tablecloths and the garish wall art. And that is because when we travel, we do our research. We do a deep dive into blogs, articles, reviews and travel books. And this place had been hailed as a top-rated eatery, so who are we to argue with the journalists and the masses? No, just do it on its own. No. The steak tartare was fantastic. It came with a whole heap of very fiery wasabi, which I chowed down on thinking it was coleslaw. It blew my head off, but somehow didn't have the same effect on Dan. Look at that face of concentration. These meatballs looked disgusting, but I promise they were absolutely tasty, although Dan did say his meatballs from earlier that day were much better, and I'm still not over it.